Hello, I'm Caffeinated Granny. Welcome to my knitting podcast. Today I'm going to be talking to you about some of my whips, have a little knit and chat, and talk about some upcoming exciting projects. So as you can see, my whip basket is out of control. I don't know how we got here because I used to be quite a monogamous knitter, or sometimes I would have two knits at the same time. So one like more exciting for when I'm at home with cables and like a pattern to follow, and then another mindless stockinette stitch for when I'm in transit in the car. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened here. I think I just got so many ideas for fall. And I recently got into pattern designing as well. So I had all these like, oh, I want to make this pattern, I want to do this, at the same time as like looking at existing patterns and wanting to knit them. So anyway, so let's tackle this. The last time I saw you, I had just started this. So this is my Lazy Susie sweater. And yeah, I think I finished like the back panel when I talked to you last, and now it's getting there. Like I've done some good work on the body, and very soon, I hope maybe today, I'll finish the body. I said this yesterday too and the day before, but maybe today's today. I'm coupling together 2 strands of Drops Air, which is like a polyamide alpaca mix, which I really like. So I chose this specifically because I want this knit to have a bit more structure, and I find that when you have more synthetic fibers, it does give you more of a structure, or more like, how can I say, it looks more cohesive. And then I'm pairing that with kid silk mohair, which also has the same effect. And I find that when I put this in the mix, it looks slightly more expensive, and it also holds its shape slightly better, I find, when you put a little bit of mohair in a mix like this. Very exciting, nice to knit with. I'm knitting on 7mm needles. I've got my amazing, I just love these. They're the KnitPro interchangeable needle set, and it wasn't that bad actually, because most needle sets are like 150 euros, but this was 40 euros, and they gave me, so basically needles from size 4 up till 10 millimeters. And then I think I have 60 centimeters, 80 centimeters and 100 centimeters of this cable, which is nice. And then I got some bits and bobs as well, like some needle stopper things, so that when I take this off, there's like a black little hat that I can put on top of this, which will stop the stitches from coming off. Very, very handy. And then I've also got, I don't know what this tool is called, but if you look closely here, you see these holes here, and there's this type of tool. It looks like I don't know. Anyway, you put it in there, and then you sort of twist it a little bit, and it makes this really secure. Because right now, every now and then when I haven't used that tool, the needle will open up a little bit like this, and there's a stitch that is just sitting there between the canyon, which is not nice. Very annoying actually. And I just love the color combination, the click of this. I like it. It's nice. Yeah, it's a quick knit. So basically what I'm doing here, I started casting on stitches for the back panel and instantly going into German short rows, working that. And I think you can see that slightly here. And then I went ahead, once I finished the back panel, well, I knit until the armhole. I did a little bit of armhole shaping. I think two rounds of increases here, so increase 4 stitches. And then I put the stitches on hold for the back panel. And then I went to the front here. So here you can see that I picked up stitches for the front. So I used my special trick where I pick up in between the stitches, so you can't actually see that well where I picked them up from, which is cool. Like it's cohesive, this line of stitch all the way to the front. Yes, I love that. And then the original neckline was like a little bit wider and square. I really like that. I wanted a square neckline. Super into that last year. And then I had like, I think it was a four stitch I-cord around, which I really liked. In the beginning, it was actually quite difficult to get over my head, but once I used it, that loosened up and it became a really nice fit. So because of that, I was thinking, what if I try like a double folded neckline? So I try that and I really like it. I think it's so pretty. There's like 2 stitches on the side here that I want to fasten, so I think you can see it if I hold it up. Yeah, this one is quite, anyway, but ignore those. Maybe I should show you the back instead. It's nice. So this is 1x1 rib. I did a twisted knit stitch just to make it more tighter. I switched from needle size, so I had needle size 7, and then for this I switched down to needle size 5, because when you go down the needle size, I just find that things look way more tighter and a bit more professional. So that's the look that I was going for. In general, when I knit, I don't like it when you can instantly see, or when anyone on the street can stop you and be like, you'd made that yourself. What I always aim for is to make stuff that looks like it could be bought in the store. That's why I take real care to take time and do finishing touches like that, because I think it just really elevates the piece. I tried it on, and the amount of times that I've been like, yes, I've reached the length that I want for the body, and then I put it on and I'm like, well, my boob's hanging out. But yeah, I'm getting impatient, because once you knit on chunky needles, you think that it's gonna go so fast, but since this is so oversized, it is taking time. So I measured this from a favorite oversized sweater that I have. So basically I just laid the sweater flat, so you have the armhole space and then the chest and then half the armhole space on the other side. I really like that fit on me. I wanted to be that oversized. We're talking probably 20 to 25 centimeters of positive ease. So it is a tent, which it is intended to be. It's supposed to be like a very cozy sweater slash blanket slash tent that you live in when you do movie nights and just want to get extra cozy. That's the vision for this. So I'm going to continue this until I have a good length for the body, and then I will see how I finish it off. Because on the other Lazy Susie sweater, I have a split right where, because I wear high-waisted pants, and right where my high-waisted pants start, I had the split so that you wouldn't see my belly unless I, did a hooray. And I find that looked really nice. And I did double knitted ribbed hem so that it was quite heavy, so that it wouldn't, flare out or curl up or anything. It stays there, which is very nice. And I do like that, but I think maybe on this version, I'm gonna omit that and I'll just do a normal bind off. Well, I still have to decide. I'll see when I put it on and what length I want to have it at and whatever. Let's see. I haven't planned it completely. So anyway, that's that project that I'm working on right now. And I really want to be finished with this for next week, because next week I'm starting 2 projects that I need to have done by the end of September for 2 birthdays. One is just a black sweater. So this is for a 13-year-old boy, so he's going into the teenage phase, so he probably doesn't want this sweater, but I'm gonna make it cool. He loves to wear black, so I'll just make a black, very normal sweater, not a big neck opening, round, tiny bit of maybe like 2 centimeters of 1x1 rib at the neckline, and he loves oversized things, so I'll probably make it maybe I'll make it an extra small in a girl size, and I want it to be just top down, not raglan, what's it called when you just completely forgot the word, short row shaping for the back and on the shoulders to make sure that lies nicely. He has this like weird inside joke with his friend where they just say batata, and then from what I understand, they can be just applied to any situation. So I was thinking, how fun would it be if I knit this sweater for him and I would write like batata, so oversized fit, black, in drops Lima, just chef's kiss. I made one sweater once with that combination and I was just like, this sweater is $1 million. It looks amazing. And unfortunately it got slightly discolored from being out in the sun. I tried to fix that by putting it in my washing machine, and my washing machine just flipped out and the cycle just kept going on and on and on. It was supposed to be like a 10-minute cycle, and then I forgot about it because I was in a meeting. And then when I come back, I remember crying, taking it out, showing it to my hubby and being like, look what happened to my sweater. And he was just on the floor laughing. He's like, is that the same sweater that you were wearing 1 hour ago? And then I watched loads of videos about how you can stretch it back and don't worry. And I was really lying to myself there for a while, thinking that I could actually make it go back to what it was. Lesson learned, don't be an idiot. And then I've got the next project is for my mother-in-law. So she has this favorite sweater that she loves, that she bought at some sort of supermarket. And it's like a blend of nylon, a little bit of cotton, like 10%, and then the rest is like acrylic and polyamide. And it's just 1x1 rib with a V-neck. It's blue. Actually, she gave it to me. I'm gonna go get it. So the sweater in question is this one, probably needle size. Ooh, this is 3.5 or 3. I don't think it will be that difficult to make, but I do think I'm gonna do this raglan. I'll see, I'll have to do some calculations. Need to measure this, write down the circumference, and then when the yarn arrives next week, I need to do a gauge swatch. She loves the fit of this and the softness of this. I wanted to make like a slightly upscale version of this. So instead of, you know, nylon and polyamide, acrylic and all that stuff, I'm gonna go for drops, of course. Shocker. Drops, soft tweed in framboise. So it's like a beautiful burgundy raspberry. That's how you say it. Raspberry dark color, and I'm coupling that with, of course, kid silk mohair, also dark raspberry color. I was also thinking of like holding together like the soft tweed with sky from drop, so I ordered some of that as well. So let's see how this is gonna go, because that might be too chunky and it might be on 5mm instead of 3. But realistically, if I think about having the time to knit 2 sweaters in 1 month, I think I'm gonna have to do bigger needle size. I'll be able to do sort of the same fit, and it will be soft and nice. Like Sky from Drops is very soft and nice. I love it. On to my whips that I just, yeah. So I've got the Je Ne Sais Quoi cardigan, and the confusion has continued. I got it to a point where I crocheted the back panel, and then I crocheted this front panel, and then I went to crochet this front panel here, and then I ran out of the soft tweed yarn with like 1 line left, which was very sad. So I had to order some more, which is fine because I would have needed more for the neckline. And then also once you finish, so this is supposed to have like mohair sleeves, and at the end of the mohair sleeve there's also a little crochet detail exactly here on the sleeve, end of the sleeve. But I am thinking, because I was thinking, while I'm waiting for this yarn to arrive, I'm gonna just start doing the mohair sleeves. But the pattern did say to do 1 line of single crochet in the soft tweed before you start picking up for the mohair. And I can see why it says that, because the transition is not the prettiest. Once I realized that after how many 40 rows of doing mohair, I sort of stopped and was like, okay, I'm probably gonna frog this, and then I'll do that 1 line of soft tweed. Yes, so exciting stuff. So what I have left of this, we have the neckline, need to do the mohair sleeves, and I need to do the sleeve crochet detail. And then there's supposed to be a tie as well at the front. So this is quite quick because it is crochet, and I've really enjoyed it up until now. I think the mohair sleeves is probably what's going to take longer time, but I am a bit concerned because this color, it doesn't really seem to match the soft tweed. When I'm looking at the photos, it looks like she used a different color for that. I'm following so there's a specific photo that I'm looking at from one of the test knitters from this cardigan that I really like, and for her she used this soft tweed natural and this same color natural in the alpaca brushed silk. So for me it looks like it's very different colors. This looks very cool and this looks warm and yellow, but anyway, let's see. And then I actually signed up to test crochet that I'm very excited about. So my favorite crochet artist of all time, pattern designer, is called nastja.crochets, and she does like the coolest patterns she has such a cool imagination. I'm always very fascinated by anything that she puts out in general on her Instagram in terms of like graphic design and just how she frames the photos, everything. The mind of this woman, she seems really cool. So anyway, she is making a giraffe bag. I thought that was the coolest bag ever. So I was one of the testers. I was selected, which I'm very excited about. I saw that she crocheted this up in Drops Paris. It's a thicker cotton yarn. So I knew that in my local yarn shop they don't have drops, but someone told me on this channel actually that they sell yarns in the cellar of El Corte Inglés. So I went for a walk of about 45 minutes. It was really lovely. I love having walks in the morning. It's just something about it. 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back. That's almost 2 hours, but let's go. But I didn't take into account the amount of time that I would spend walking around in the actual shopping mall. It's huge. I completely forgot how overwhelmed I get with shopping malls. I don't know, there's just so many impressions, there's so many smells, there's perfumes in the air, lights blinking, sale, sale, sale. I was determined to not be such a grumpy granny and just find this place. So I was walking around. I did walk up to information and they were like, tricot, crochet, fiche. I don't think anyone ever asked for this before, but I walked all the way here. I am going to find this place. I spent probably about an hour walking around and I go down. Lo and behold, it's there. They had a lot of Retrosaria yarns. So the other brands that they had were mainly like acrylic yarns. And I really wanted cotton. In my head, I wanted to do something that would match my dog. So plan was to do white base or cream base, and then for the giraffe pattern I wanted to have a light brown and then a darker brown to match my dog. So they didn't have white cotton yarn. I was very surprised. I didn't really, and in the end I had to compromise. So I was like, okay, what about like a coffee themed bag then? So that's what I went for. I found some Rosario 4 Eco cotton. It's musky brown, and then I couldn't find a darker brown or another brown. I ended up with this merino wool, slightly more like caramel brown together. I'm not so sure, so I am actually contemplating, because I've done the base of the bag now, which was quick, and the main color is this like sort of musky brown. And then I was thinking maybe I can do something more exciting for the giraffe pattern, like maybe I could borrow a skein of this mohair. That could be cool. Or I can use the leftover yarn that I have from my, oh look at this, horrible, from my shepherdess. I haven't decided. Anyway, it's quite fun. I am very excited to be part of this test knit because I love her designs. They're so cool. You need to check them out. And then I've got some other works in progress that I have shown. I'm not sure if I've shown this on the knitting podcast, but I've definitely shown this on Instagram if you follow me there. Oh no, the mohair has entwined. Okay, I'm gonna have to enjoy undoing that later. We have my feminine cardigan that I'm working on, and I think I've done, yeah, started with the back and increases towards the shoulder, picking up the front panels and continuing the braid. There is a seam. I wanted there to be a seam visible here, but I did want the pattern to continue in the same lines, so I'm happy to report that they are doing that. I'm gonna do like a ribbing that cinches it in at the waist. So this is meant to be quite a feminine piece. I'm excited about this. I'm doing it with 2 strands of kid silk mohair held together. This is supposed to be pale pink. Cool, so let me put this back here. I put that on the floor as well, not on purpose. This happens a lot. Anyway, so I was thinking about what I want to do later with this channel. So I'm not super comfortable being on camera, so I really want to make this into more of like a vlog style. So I'm thinking of having actual project vlogs, so from start to finish of a new project. I really enjoy those videos from myself I'm watching a lot of Japanese and Korean knitters do that here on YouTube. I find it very calming. It's nice to have on while you're knitting, sort of hang out with another knitter. I'm interested to hear what you think. I think it would be cool. And also, I think I'm slightly more comfortable with that because showing my face on camera is sort of, you know, not used to it. But I do hear you. A lot of you guys are so nice saying stuff like, oh, you have such a soothing voice and things like that, that you feel relaxed watching my podcasts or knitting vlogs or whatever you want to call them. And it's so nice to hear because inside I'm like a big overthinker. So to hear that someone watches these vlogs and they find comfort is really lovely. Thank you so much. So let's talk about some yarn acquisitions, because even though I am overwhelmed with whips, I keep not learning my lesson and just ordering more yarn. So one acquisition that I'm very excited about, I got Gilliatt, which is a Portuguese, oh, it's a French brand, but Portuguese material yarn, merino wool, Portuguese sheep, I believe. And it looks beautiful. It has gorgeous stitch definition. I have a pattern plan for that, which I'm very excited about. For that, I'm planning to do like a video blog from the beginning till the end. So from the moment that I get the yarn and open the box and stuff. Should be fun. Why not? Let's try out new things, guys, and see if it's entertaining or not. And you don't have to tell me, I'll just watch the numbers go down and I'll know, like, okay, no one likes this stuff. I really want to make content that I enjoy making, and I think that will automatically transmit across the screen, or at least I hope so, maybe not. So that was it for content today. I hope you enjoyed this more sporadic knitting video. But yeah, let me know what you guys are knitting and what your fall plans are. And thank you for hanging out with me today. Beijinhos.